All right, good afternoon. Let me start off by addressing the NCAA secondary violations that we self-reported to the NCAA back in January. I'm extremely disappointed by our players' actions and how those actions reflect on them and our program, our department, and the university. Each year, every player is educated about the rules regarding apparel and equipment, specifically that the sale of apparel and equipment is an NCAA violation. Every single player signs an agreement in acknowledging those rules. And I will say these young men knew better and shouldn't have made the choice they made. But I do want you to understand that they're young men. My responsibility is to help grow them into men. And so they're going to face the consequences of their actions, and we're going to move forward, and it's going to be a great teachable moment for our football team. Accountability is an important core principle in this program, not only for our players, but also for our staff. And these players are going to be held accountable by the penalties announced today.
Yeah, so in addition to what Coach said, I just wanted to kind of reiterate some of the things that we said a couple of weeks ago, which is we have really high expectations for our student athletes, for our coaches. And in this case, we're disappointed. Disappointed that the student athletes won't be able to compete for a couple of games. Disappointed that we have to report this. But I'm really pleased with our compliance operation. I thought the compliance operation, once we found out about it, we're really quick to react. I want to compliment the coaches, the students, for coming together very quickly, providing accurate information to us so that we could compile that, turn it into the NCAA. The NCAA turned it around very quickly. And so we're now at the point of implementing the penalties associated with the mistakes that we made. We'll continue to strive to get better. We have to continue to get our educational program better. We have to get better in so many different ways, encourage the students to make good decisions. But we certainly made a mistake, and we'll have to suffer the consequences and play without a couple of players. But I'm really encouraged by the students and their reaction. Their teammates have all supported them. They're excited to get going with the 2018 season, and we're looking forward to putting this behind us and having a great year. So Coach and I can answer any questions about that, and then we'll flip it back to 2018 in football. Great question. Great question. We got on it probably within 12 hours of finding out about it. We had all of the shoes collected from the staff members, from the students, from the student managers, from everybody that was issued shoes, all that we could collect. And we had the whole thing wrapped up in 4 days and then turned that into the NCAA.
How did you guys?
It was a social media post, and then an email came to the UNC AD account, and that was given to me, and then we quickly got it to our compliance office, and we got a hold of the coaches and got to the bottom of it as quickly as we could.
Are all the shoes that were issued back in the possession of the university?
Every one that we could get back, we have possession of all of them.
Approximately how many are still out?
I think there's 9. About 150.
150 pair?
150 pair. Yeah, that'd be 300 shoes, I guess. Yeah, we had an awful lot of injuries last year, and we knew we were going to have some repair work to do in the off season, and some of the players play the same position. So to be fair to the kids that are going to play for health and safety reasons, we asked the NCAA to stagger them, and we were granted that staggering. So 2 of the players of the 13 will be held out a little bit later.
Was there?
Yeah, health and safety of the students is foremost in our minds as well as the NCAA, and that has happened before, so we thought it made sense this time as well. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, and it has been. You're right. It has gone on for a long time. I've seen issues at other schools that have happened over time. It's disappointing. We do the best we can to educate the students, and sometimes it gets too tempting. They make a poor choice. But, that is the rule. We're living by the rules. We live with the consequences of them, and we'll continue to try to enhance our educational program. Well, our compliance staff is responsible for the education of our student athletes and our coaches and our staff, but then the coaches reinforce it. With head coach responsibility, obviously, he reinforces the message from our compliance staff on a regular basis. Yeah, no, absolutely. We turned everything in back in January and February, got the final adjudication as secondary violations from the NCAA, so this case is closed, and as soon as the suspensions are served, that'll be the end of it. So thank you. I'll turn it back to Larry. You can answer any questions about the football season. Thanks.
Yeah, well, you never like losing players for any reasons, so, but, in relating the things that happened to us last year, it's another form of adversity that we'll have to overcome, and our guys are doing a great job of that. They all know what's going on. They all have been aware of that there could be some, some penalties like this, and so our guys are prepared for it. They're working their rear ends off during camp, and they're getting ready.
How much does the staggered suspensions with help, knowing that at least you're not going to be without both starting ends?
Yeah, I mean, again, it was because we had multiple players at one position, and for the health and safety of the guys that are playing, we were able to stagger those guys. So I think it's good for our football team.
Who do you turn to?
Yeah, well, Allen's had reps, and so you've got him. You've got the two young guys that we just signed also. Jake redshirted last year, so this will be his first year to get extensive reps. And then you've got the Lansing Toure, and you also have Chris Collins. That's right, Chris Collins. So those two guys are getting reps right now, preparing to play in those games. Let's see, I told them. I mean, we brought them in, and I told them about the suspensions. Last week. Yeah. Oh, it's big, but it's big one way or the other for us. I mean, to have a guy who's back in his fifth year, has been a guy that's played a lot of plays for us, and has been a good player for us. We're happy to have him back.
The players that are suspended.
Yeah, and they are leaders, and they will continue to lead, and they're not going to let this be their legacy. I mean, they're preparing to win football games, and they're doing a great job of leading this football team. And so all the entire team is handled it extremely well. I can't answer that. I mean, I think that it was probably more of an opportunity, that they found out about, and we're going to take advantage of it, But it's against the rules, and so we can't do it.
How do you manage reps during camp? Some guys that you're going to need as the season goes on aren't going to be available for the first 4 games, and prepare them, but also prepare the guys that are going to have to play.
Yeah, it's something as a coaching staff we've been working on, for a while now, but we just didn't know exactly how it was all going to go down. So, we're in our install periods right now where we're installing all of our schemes, offensively, defensively, and on special teams, and everybody gets all that no matter what. So we don't really change anything rep-wise in the first, up to the first scrimmage. And then after that, then we will start pulling back some reps on the guys that won't be in some of those games, and we'll be adding reps to the other guys.
Is Manny Nathan's backup at this point, or
Well, yeah, we've got Manny, and we've got Cade Fortin, and we also have Jace Reuter. Thank you. We got all 3 of those guys that are working at that position right now.
How much does the new redshirt have to play a freshman?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's nice to have, and it's good for those kids also. That no matter what, we can play them for up to 4 games throughout the season, whether it's early in the year or late in the year, and they're going to benefit from those reps, and then they'll be better players down the road and still save their redshirt year.
Is Nathan Elliott?
Nathan Elliott is my starter going into the Cal game as of this time. Yes.
What was that conversation?
There was really nothing to the conversation. It was more me meeting with the players that were suspended and talking to them and letting them know what their suspensions were. And then I addressed the entire team, and Nate was in there, and he was a part of that team, so I think he understood.
You said this.
All right, we're in camp now, so every day runs together for me in camp, to be honest with you. So
The day the team reported.
trying to remember. We have not met on it. The team reported. Yes, we have not met on it since the team reported. So we have not dealt with this during camp, yes. So it was before camp.
How do you deal with the reps?
Like right now, he's getting the same amount of reps for the first, up until the first scrimmage, that he would have gotten no matter what the situation was. And so once, it's the same question that I answered over here for all these guys, not just Chaz, it's for all of them. So they're all getting their reps in the first 5 days of install that they normally would up to our first scrimmage. Then after that, we'll start adjusting the reps. Yeah, you got another guy that's very bright. He's gifted. He's got great quickness and balance. And I tell you, the great thing about Antonio has been his attitude. He's got a smile on his face, and even a bigger smile now that he knows that he can play this year. And so he will definitely be a factor for our football team this year.
Is it closer to having?
Well, it's still too early to tell that. It really is. I mean, until we get those guys. We've had 1 day in pads, so it's too early to tell that.
Sorry, we're having some sound system issues in the stadium.
Almost letting the team down a bit?
Yeah, the guys that are suspended, they're very remorseful. They don't want to let their teammates down, and they feel like they did in this situation. So I mean, nobody's pointing fingers on this football team. Those guys aren't blaming them or anything else. I mean, it's we're beyond that point now. It's already happened. It is what it is, and so they're all looking forward and moving forward. I mean, so I think they're handling it in the right way.
We have time for just a couple more.
Yeah, I mean, I was disappointed. I was disappointed. But again, I've been coaching for over 30 years. These are young men. They don't all make the best decisions every day of their life, and that's our job as coaches, is to teach them and to make sure that they understand that life's about choices, and the choices that you make in life, there are consequences to those choices. And the choices that you make don't just affect you. They affect other people, something greater than yourself. And as they mature and learn, they learn that, when they make a choice, they got to think about everybody else and not just themselves. And so it's a great teachable moment.
Besides the 1 game suspension.
I mean, he's working hard. I mean, he's had a great off season, had a really good spring. So again, 1 day in pads. They all look good in shorts, and we'll know more here and probably after that first scrimmage. He's at guard. Yes, he's at guard.
4 days in, are there any freshmen?
Yeah, and Trey Morrison is a kid on defense. Bryson Richardson is another guy, that was here. Both Matt Flint, the other linebacker that was here during the spring. I mean, all three of those guys have shown up early. The Toure kid at the end, Chris Collins, was another one. So there's a lot of guys doing some really good things. Javon Terry, the kid from Wake Forest, and then you go over on offense, and Antoine Green and De'Ami Brown have both made plays for us already in camp and did some things this summer that everybody was going wow about. Javonte Williams is another one that we were talking about from spring. William Barnes has done some really nice things in the offensive line.
Does he have a chance to start with Barnes?
Everybody's got a chance to start, right? They're all competing. In 3 days, I would say he's better than he was when he left at the end of the season. So.
Has his demeanor changed at all?
Nathan's a pretty solid kid. I mean, his attitude, the way his work ethic, all those things, he holds himself to a very high standard. And if he doesn't reach that standard on a daily basis, then he's disappointed himself. But he's doing a great job of holding himself to that standard and then raising the level of the guys around him.
Do you think it helps now you have 3 weeks? You factor that in at all?
I think Nathan has, first of all, he's played in games. He's started. He's come off the bench. He's done multiple things. So I think he's excited about the opportunity to get out there and play. I really do. And I think all these kids want to get the taste out of last year out of their mouth, and they're anxious to get back out on the field and show what they can do.
All right, folks, thank you.